just read a book about Kathleen Bowen, and here's what I've learned. In 1917, Kathleen Bowen suffered through women's rights with her family. She was a girl who thought no one understood her well. She had a hard life, but she had a very good friend who understood her and how she felt. But then her friend ran off to be a nurse for soldiers. She then felt very sad. Later in her life, her mother and other women had joined a picket line. She also felt very scared that her mother would get hurt. For picketing, they got sent to jail. They talked in court about their rights. After time in jail, they got released. But even after they kept picketing. Soon after, they went back to jail for even longer. In jail, the women went on a hunger strike for many days. The men who operated the jail were very angry and threatened that they would start to force feed them. They did this. It hurt a lot when this happened. They would stick a tube down your throat and mashed up food would come out. Soon they were released. At this time, Kathleen was at her school waiting to receive an award in Latin. This was a surprise to her because she struggled in Latin and got a tutor. When she went up to receive her award, she looked out and saw her mother and other women standing there. So instead of receiving her award, she yelled out, "Mother! Mother!" Other children whose moms were there ran and hugged them. So did Kathleen. And now let me introduce the writer herself, Kathleen Bowen.
Hello, everyone. Today we have with us Kathleen Bowen. Hi, Kathleen. I'm so happy you could be with us today.
Yeah, thank you for letting me come.
Yeah, our pleasure. I have some questions I'd like to ask you, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Kathleen, how did you feel when your mother joined the picket line?
I felt scared, but at the same time, I knew she was doing the right thing.
Wow, I can imagine. How did you feel toward President Wilson at the time?
I was confused about what he thought was the right thing to do and how he did not understand what we were trying to tell him.
You know, there was something that I really wanted to ask you. Why did you love hockey?
I loved it because it was a time where I could just be me and do what I wanted to do.
Can you kind of recall when you got to help with the picket line for a little bit? What was that like?
I had fun and felt strong when I got to carry those warm bricks. I also felt sad when I remembered why we did this.
What was your reaction when your friend went off to be a nurse?
I felt so sad inside. I felt like she was my only friend. I felt very alone at the time.
That had to be pretty difficult. And when you finally got a letter from her in July, did you feel happy, sad, afraid?
I was all those emotions, actually. I was happy she was okay and that I got a letter from her. I was sad because it reminded me of her and how I missed her. I was scared because she entered a war zone and could get hurt.
Ooh, my goodness. That is a lot. How did you feel when your mother went to jail?
Once I heard it, I felt sick to my stomach. It was a terrible feeling to have.
That is a terrible feeling. When your mother went on a hunger strike with other people, how did you feel?
I did not know about the force feeding at the time, so I thought she was going to get sick or worse, die.
And then you won the award in Latin at your school. What was that like?
I was surprised that I won that award because I had struggled in that so much that I needed a tutor.
And when you were about to receive your award and saw your mother and father standing out in the audience, how did you feel and what did you do?
It was really the happiest moment in my life when I saw her. She was okay and she fought for what she believed in, so I was happy for her. Kathleen Bowen suffered a lot with her family. They fought for women's rights, they were in a picket line, but struggled for people to understand that it was just not fair. But much later, people were inspired to help, such as Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton and others. Through the help of these people, women were finally allowed to vote.